Day 10. Herod. God will use the works of the enemy. No story is complete without an old-fashioned villain, and God's Christmas story is no exception. That's why the next person we'll be reading about is Herod. He is not someone we can look up to or learn from. No, as we will see, he is the murderer of hundreds of babies and toddlers. And yet, what he did that terrible night was used by God. God used that night to fulfill multiple 100-year-old prophecies and save his son from death. Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, flee to Egypt, and stay there until I bring you word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed for Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was deceived by the wise men, was exceedingly angry, and he sent forth and put to death all the male children who were in Bethlehem and in all its districts, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had determined from the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, A voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation, weeping, and a great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted, because they are no more. Now when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, and go to the land of Israel, for those who sought the young child's life are dead. Then he arose, took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus was reigning over Judah instead of his father Herod, he was afraid to go there, and being warned by God in a dream, he turned aside into the region of Galilee. And he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets, He shall be called a Nazarene. Matthew 2, verse 13 through 23. The miraculous way in which God rescued baby Jesus out of the hands of Herod proves that what men meant for evil, God meant for good. Genesis 50, verse 20. God's provision in the midst of tragedy shows that God will take the terrible things in our lives and use them to fulfill His purposes. I want to emphasize that it's not that God enabled or allowed those bad things to happen. Every person, including Herod, has been given free will to make decisions for their own lives. Oftentimes, like Herod, we choose wrong. And yet, Romans 8:28 says, all things work together for good to those who love God. That means all things, not just the happy, feel-good stuff. He'll use the hard stuff too. He'll use the up all night, lose your mind, existential crisis, why God, why stuff too. If you give it to God with all its pain and unfairness, He will use even that to fulfill His promises in you. He will give you peace for your anxiety and comfort for your pain. He will give you joy for your mourning and love for your hate. This Christmas, if you give God all the bad stuff, the sad stuff, and the mad stuff, He will do with it what only He can do. And more importantly, if you let Him, He will use it to transform you from the inside out.